Would you ever consider yourself a weeb by chance? Maybe somebody who just truly enjoys anime? Did you like the Japanese Strixhaven Mystical Archive cards and were looking for more anime-inspired art in the Magic the Gathering scene? Well, look no further. December is your month with Jumpstart 2022. Let's go ahead and take a look at all of the anime-inspired arts that are going to be coming on a bunch of the reprints that are going to be in this set. Good morning, Dragon Folk. I hope you all had a fantastic Thanksgiving day, and I hope that you all are enjoying your fantastic Friday today. We are going over the new anime-inspired arts that are going to be in Jumpstart 2022. Now, there are 46 different cards that exist in anime-inspired arts because there are 46 different kinds of packs you can open in Jumpstart 2022. So, we're going to go over all the ones that are here, and I'm going to kind of gloss over them, tell you which ones are my favorite, which ones aren't, and the job of all of you, much like you all know at this point, is to tell me in the comments what you guys liked about the art. Tell me if you have a favorite. Tell me if you don't like any of them at all. And more importantly, subscribe to the channel. So without further ado, let's take a look into Diabolic Edict. So Diabolic Edict, you can see here, pretty insane little thing here. I am not sure what is being torn apart here, but I love that they did the little anime blood concept where it's like not blood, but it's supposed to be like a goo of some kind, right? I think the card's really, first and foremost, I think the card is really, really cool. You've got sacrifice mechanics going on in here. So it's definitely a nice little pickup. I just love the crazy demon hands. It almost looks like a scene from Evangelion. Also, if I didn't mention to any of you, I do watch a decent amount of anime. At least I've spent a good amount of my time now catching up on anime. Just caught up on the entirety of Black Clover, as well as now caught up on Chainsaw Man. So if you haven't watched Chainsaw Man, you should go check that out. That's also a fun one. But enough about the other animes. Feast on the Fallen is another little card here. It's an enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. If an opponent lost life this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So pretty good. I'm sure this is in the vampires thing because, if your opponent loses life at all, then you get a +1/+1 counter on creatures. It's not a bad card. I think the art's a little interesting, but I guess it's a bunch of spirits and demons killing this guy. So it's cool. The horse, right? That's an anime horse if I've ever seen one. So also some of these flavor texts are also very interesting too. I'm not sure if they're the ones that are on the card originally, but this one says he only paused to catch his breath, not knowing that it would be his last. So some of them are interesting and flavorful. The other ones, not so much. The next two cards we have here are Lord of the Accursed and Oathsworn Vampire. These are the next two black cards that got a anime work. First and foremost, Lord of the Accursed has no business being waifu material right now, but look at that. Dang. But of course you can see that their abilities are as such. There's a zombie and a vampire knight. So the zombie one, you get other zombies you control get +1/+1. So Lord of the Accursed is a lord, of course. And they have an ability to pay 1 and a black to tap. All zombies gain menace until end of turn. So not too bad. Definitely a fun card. I'm sure this gets run in zombies. So that's cool. If you're playing zombie tribal, this is something else. Oathsworn Vampire is just a pretty basic vampire knight. Very Alucard-esque. I wonder if this is the same artist that did the Castlevania stuff, because that looks it actually looks a lot more like, which Belmont is that? It doesn't look like Simon, but it very well could be Simon. It's definitely got an Alucard feel to it. So I wonder if that's the same artist as our Sorin that we got in Innistrad Midnight Hunt. So pretty cool. Enters the battlefield tapped. You can cast it from your graveyard if you gain life this turn. So then the next two cards we've got are Ogre Slumlord and Plague Crafter. Ogre Slumlord being a pretty staple card in rat decks as of this point, and to see it getting a anime reprint is very interesting. And then Plague Crafter is, it's just a dude, human shaman, But like this, like rat infested sounds so negative. I prefer rat friendly. And looks like I need a new test subject. Any volunteers? The flavor is very, very interesting on some of these cards. Then we've got two more in black, Stitcher Supplier and Tragic Slip. Stitcher Supplier apparently needing a reprint. I guess it was like at $5 for an uncommon at some point. And now that it's getting a reprint in anime art, that's pretty neat. So with its flavor text, let me give you a hand. He won't be needing it. He's left-handed. Also dead. That's funny, right? In Tragic Slip, she would never have guessed that her last words would be whoops. I wonder if this is, for those of you who don't know, you remember the horror, like gory scene from the anime where that girl falls down the stairs and ends up stabbing herself through her umbrella. This is what this entire like art reminds me of. Very interesting. Then we do have a new art for Blood Artist, but we won't talk too much into it. You can always go ahead and take a look at that. But we do have Tree of Perdition, a mythic getting a anime-inspired art with Defender and exchange target opponent's life total, with the Tree of Perdition's toughness being 13. This is part of that unlucky 13 pack. So the point of that deck is to get your opponent's life to 13 and then they die. So very interesting stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to blue. Now we have Kasmina Enigmatic Mentor, who's looking very waifu material right now in that art. And she's one of the War of the Spark Planeswalkers, so you've seen her before. This is just her in a brand new anime-inspired art. Next, you have a Lord for Merfolk, Merfolk Regery. Other Merfolk creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever you cast a Merfolk spell, you may tap or untap target permanent. So, pretty neat there. I do apologize that I won't know where some of these cards are from, strictly because I am not familiar with just about every set that exists out there, but I think this is right around Shadowmoor era. I can't remember, though. Next, we have Mirror Image and Preordain. Two more cards in blue. Looking very cool with this. This Mirror Image art is really awesome. I'm not in love with the Preordain art, but I guess it does make sense in regards to the scrying, right? I don't know. It just seems kind of like meh, but that could be me. It does look cool though. I'm not ever gonna say that the art doesn't look good. I like whenever I think anime, I always think like fight scenes or like cool little like action poses or something. And normally, if it's just like I'm staring at the moon, I guess that's pretty anime too. So who's to say? Next here, we've got two more waifus. Spectral Sailor getting a little waifu card. Just a cute little sailor hanging out on a boat, Who's to say? Permission to haunt aboard, Captain? It's just silly little stuff. And then Spell Stutter Sprite. The amount of times I had to stutter saying Spell Stutter is hilarious, because sometimes you can say it like it's something else, and then this card becomes something entirely different. But Fairy Wizards and Spell Pirates getting their just desserts here. Flash Flying. When Spell Stutter Sprite enters the battlefield, counter target spell with mana value X or less, where X is the number of fairies you control. So this is just a cool little counter that you can utilize in fairies. I think Spectral Sailor gets used in Pioneer for mono blue spirits. I could be wrong. But that is it for these ones here. Then we're going to go ahead and move on to two other ones here. We'll even bring up the Rhystic Study on this one, because I do want to talk about it. Whirler Rogue got an anime-inspired reprint here with I'm just Thopters, making Thopters. That's what Whirler Rogue does. But Rhystic Study not getting an anime art, but it is getting a new art entirely. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I guess the old artist for Rhystic Study was not a very good dude, and because of that, a lot of people decided to boycott using that card, or there's a lot of like extremism on that side, but like I understand the reasoning why people would want this card's art to be changed, and it was changed in here. We did have Rhystic Study in the last Jumpstart set, but now we have Rhystic Study again in Jumpstart 2022. So if you haven't already picked up a Rhystic Study, you can probably find it here in the set. All right, let's move on to the cards in white. We do have Arrest and Balan Wandering Knight. Now, Arrest, pretty cool. It's a fun little, like, haha, like I captured you kind of deal. Balan Wandering Knight, though, looks absolutely insane. I mean, for one, this is like a furry's, like, this is a furry's card. This is a new commander for a lot of people who already run cats. So this is something they're going to enjoy a lot. But Balan Wandering Knight is actually it's not too bad a card, right? Equipment, knights, cats, right? A very cool looking art. I love the art. It looks very, very awesome. Next, we've got two more little waifu things. We've got Eidolon of Rhetoric sitting in here. I think somebody made a joke like, don't make... blue-white is now going to be called Uwu. I guess it's like blue, white, blue, Uwu. And it's going to contain all these little anime art-inspired cards. I think it's pretty funny, so I'm about it. But Eidolon of Rhetoric getting a reprint here, and then Emancipation Angel as well getting a pretty awesome reprint. I just love the art for these things. I mean, look at Emancipation Angel. What is that? That is like the coolest looking angel card I've seen in a long time. We, of course, then have Flicker of Fate and King of the Pride here. So Flicker of Fate, obviously it does the thing, right, where it flickers stuff out. King of the Pride, Savannah Lions. I'm looking at you. His kind were once hunted to near extinction. Now, under his protection, they rule the savannah. This is the ruler of the savannah. So, enjoy that, buddy. Then we've got our little other ones here. Sage's Reverie getting a reprint in an anime-inspired art. I just love how this art looks. It's so good. Valorous Stance, like, that is what I'm talking about. Like, these little fight scene things, like, that dude, I would love to see an animation of this Valorous Stance just bopping anything that's got a huge amount of toughness. That's so cool. Moving on to red, we are now looking at Dragon Fodder, right? Easily just create 2/1/1 red goblin creature tokens. The art's pretty cool. It's like they're escaping from a dragon, right? So, or maybe they're trying to escape from a dragon. I like the concept art of these goblins. Very like Oni demon inspired. They're blue. I like how these goblins look. They're really, really neat. Now let's talk about probably my favorite art, one of my favorite arts in this entire set, which is Dragon Mage. That looks like a card straight out of Yu-Gi-Oh! All right? Like, right out of Yu-Gi-Oh! Without any... I'm really wondering, let me know in the comments if you guys know, because I can't find anything on it, on whether or not any of these artists were affiliated with Yu-Gi-Oh! At any point, because these are really, really well done anime-inspired arts. So Dragon Mage, really, really cool. Like, I mean, just look how sick that is. Then you also have Draneth's Stinger, another little addition here to the what looks to be waifu community. So pretty cool to see Draneth's Stinger getting a reprint. I think this was in Ikoria back when this first was released. Then, of course, we know about Kiki-Jiki Mirror Breaker here, and then Rapacious Dragon. Rapacious Dragon getting a reprint. Very cool, like, almost like One Piece looking art. I guess it's not really One Piece looking, but it is very interesting. Then we have Rigging Runner, another little goblin pirate, right? We like to see these cool little pirate goblins. That would be crazy if we got like a Dockside Extortionist anime version. What about that, right? Would they have reprinted Dockside again? I think people would have been pissed. But let's also look at Spear Spewer, right? It's pretty cool. Pretty just basic anime, goblin there. Thermo Alchemist getting a new anime reprint. And then Thrill of Possibility also getting another one there too. So pretty insane cards for what it is for red. Definitely though, this Dragon Mage and this Kiki-Jiki are probably my favorites out of all of them. So just so incredibly cool. All right, moving on to green, we've got Arlen, Voice of the Pack. You're getting an anime-inspired art, another Planeswalker from the War of the Spark set. I love how they did the art for Arlen. That is so incredibly cool. I love that. I mean, just awesome. It's cool to see Arlen in some cool art. I already like the art that she got in Midnight Hunt, but like this is real cool. Caustic Caterpillar, not a huge fan of the idea behind this, right? It's just a caterpillar, but there's no way you could have made like a caterpillar any more anime, I guess. So did a pretty good job, right? Colossal Majesty getting an anime art here. It's just literally a Colossal Majesty, I'll tell you that much. It looks like this guy down here is like training his Pokemon almost. He like buffed his Pokemon to be super huge. So, wow, it's even bigger than I thought. Awesome. That's what she said. Am I right? Don't don't mind me. Don't mind me. Don't mind me what I say. I don't endorse that. Elvish Rejuvenator, right? Sitting at a little anime art there. I really like how this art looks. I don't know whether or not this is run in Elves, but I know this is run in a lot of precon decks, so this is a pretty cool little slip in there. Hydra's Growth getting a reprint in here. That's not a Hydra, though. Those are wolves. But, of course, that's because it doesn't make you a Hydra. This is simply an enchantment to make you powerful. So, pretty cool stuff. Doubles your +1/+1 counters on enchanted creature at the beginning of your upkeep. Very cool if you're just looking to buff something insane. Colony Heart Expedition, getting a little reprint there. I love how this looks. This almost looks like very like Ghibli-esque with just like the flower there. But I love how the art looks for that. I love the scenery behind it and everything. Very, very cool. Then our next two, we've got Ram Through, right? That's not a ram, but it is ramming through that wall, so feel bad for that guy. And then Thrashing Bronzodon, also getting a new reprint. I don't think they really did too much with this card besides give it like a bunch of very, very colorful fur. But I mean, hey, it's a cool looking card. The next card on our list is the World Breaker. This is a card that looks oddly similar to a certain Pokemon some of you may know. But this is getting a reprint in here, and it looks very, very cool. I like the art behind it, and of course, right, it's Eldrazi. People are going to like that stuff. There's an entire Eldrazi pack in this set. So if you like Eldrazi and you wanted to mix Eldrazi with like goblins or something, I'm certain that is something that could happen to you. Now on to probably one of the biggest reprints to come out of this entire set, Karn Liberated, in not only a reprint, but also an anime-inspired art. So Karn Liberated has been going for a decent amount for a little while now, and now you're able to get it in your packs. So, of course, Karn Liberated being a planeswalker from way back when, that's a pretty cool little anime-inspired art that they have going on for it, so I'm very happy to see that. You know, seeing Karn in an anime art is certainly going to be something that I would love to own, especially since I want to own all the planeswalkers anyway, you know. All right, on to a couple more here in the artifacts. I think these are just about the last ones that we have. But Cold Steel Heart, we've gone over previously. Cold Steel Heart being a little waifu Cold Steel Heart in there. Very, very well used artifact in a lot of decks, especially in, you know, it's got a snow artifact, so it is a snow permanent if you count that towards a snow deck. And of course, it gets you a mana of any chosen color. So it's good for just about any deck if you're looking for rocks. Then Magnifying Glass. This is just another colorless mana rock, essentially, but you can pay for it to tap and investigate. Not really a fantastic card, if I'm being honest, but I'm sure these anime arts are going to go well over somebody. I would say this is probably the worst one out of all of them, but that's just because the card is kind of meh. And then finally, we have Peace Walker Colossus. Peace Walker Colossus getting a reprint in here. Giant mechs are something that anime does very well, and this is no exception. So you can pay 1 and a white to have another target vehicle you control become an artifact creature until end of turn. This, of course, does allow you to pretty much crew your own stuff for 2, which is very nice. And a 6/6 for 3 is not too bad either. So if you're able to crew this, you can always go ahead and actually crew your stuff with the 1 and a white and be able to have your vehicle become an artifact creature and then use that artifact creature to crew Peace Walker Colossus. So very interesting. If you've got the power for it, that's something that can happen. But that is it for the anime-inspired arts that are going to be in Jumpstart 2022. I think overall, the card pool is very, very awesome. I'm really enjoying all the different cards that are getting reprints in here. There are even some new cards that I did not talk about in our previous video talking about the rares and mythics. One of the rares that was released is Merfolk, and I think that card, it's a brand new card to Magic. I think that card is a amazing Merfolk card. We'll go ahead and talk about that when I get into my top 10 favorite cards from Jumpstart 2022 in a later video. But for now, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I do always appreciate your support in subscribing to the channel, liking the videos, leaving comments. I love talking amongst all of you. And you know what? For the sake of anime, on top of telling me what your favorite anime art is from the set, do you watch anime? And what's your favorite? Right? We can duke it out in the comments down below, because if your favorite anime is trash, I'm going to come for you, all right? I swear, I will. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving, and I hope that the rest of your holiday season is just as great. I will continue to provide you content over the time, and we're inching closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers. I think at this point we're probably at like 830 something. So if we end up being around there, perfect. I've predicted the future well enough, but I just wanted to again say thank you so much. Once we get to 1,000, if we hit 1,000 before the end of the year, I'm probably just going to give away one of these boxes of Jumpstart 2022. So get your friends together, have them subscribe to the channel, and I hope everybody continues to enjoy the content over time. You can also check our Patreon link down below in the description. That is where a lot of people get some pretty good goodies from me. So if you're interested in something like that, you can always go ahead and check that out, but it is not necessary. So thank you all so much for watching. I do, again, appreciate everything that you do for me here on the channel, and I'm thankful for every single one of you. And I will see you all very soon. Nerd out.